running nicely. She's not beaten that far. She's only beaten a length and a half in the end. She's just staying on well there on the far side. And look, it's a really nice racecourse debut from a filly who should come on from that. It is only a week ago, but she's had a nice introduction, and she had to have come away from that with a good taste in her mouth. So it was a good run, and she's a half sister to Pasley, who won over a mile and 6 furlongs. So running over 5 furlongs, she doesn't lack pace. Her dam's a half sister to Lesson in Humility, the dam of Tiger Moth. So plenty of stamina there, but you can see there that was over 5 furlongs the last day. So and she did go to the line well, and she travelled well into the race at 5 furlong pace.
And as you can see from those pictures there, she's a lovely big filly as well, who should improve, you would imagine, with another winter behind her. We'll see how she gets on today, though, in her first taste of the grass. That's Montego Bay. What do we make of Miramis, Don? As Nick said there, she's been in pretty deep in her 2 starts so far. Drops into a maiden for the first time today. How do you see her fitting into the picture?
I think she's very interesting, Gary. Her first, her 2 runs have been in the Debutant Stakes and the Anglesey Stakes. So obviously Sheila Lavery regards her highly enough to allow her to take a chance in group races. I suppose her run in the Debutant Stakes, she'd have to step forward from that. But her run the last day in the Anglesey was very good. She was on the near side. She travelled really well into the race, and she only really gave best late on. That was obviously won by a case of you. John McConnell's horse, Lippy Zena, was second, who went on and was a listed race winner at Doncaster. And Juliana, she was third. She disappointed at Naas last time, but she kind of raced out towards the centre of the track that day on soft ground. So maybe you can allow Juliana that. But no, it was a very good run by Mirami, and just her second ever run.
Here's a market update then. As you can see, Charmed edging out to 3-1. Montego Bay strong enough at 100-30. 5-1 Miramis. Dots to Feature we'll come on to in a second. 11-2. 6 Shelley Banks. And we do have a springer at a big price here. Cleona, if that's how it's pronounced. Number 13 for Willie McCreary. 22-1 into 12-1. A filly by Al Hebayeb, who's making her racecourse debut today. And the sire does get his share of
20
horses that cope well with
seconds.
ease underfoot, Don.
Yeah,
Willie's had a decent time of things here lately with the likes of Lustown Baba too.
He's had a tremendous second half of the season.
10 seconds. 9, 8 seconds.
And they're running well the whole way to the end. And Cleona, her dam
0 seconds.
McShannon, I think, was just ran a couple of times, and I don't think won, but ran placed a couple of times. So it's an unknown. She's making a racecourse debut. The fact that she's solid in the market, at least, it's a positive, obviously. And as you say, Gary, there's every chance she'll go on the ground.
And as you can see there, for this race over the 5 furlong trip, the track is pretty narrow. There's not much room either side of the end of the stalls there. So hopefully that should, you would like to think at the very least, ensure that we don't have a split here, though opinions might well differ amongst the jockeys on that front. The track that they're racing on today is one that's well out from the near side rail.
Where would you want to be, near side or far side?
At this remove, it's one of those I'd be probably happy to be where the pace is. But we don't necessarily know where the pace is, because quite a few of these are relatively unknown quantities. I think with Shelley Banks in there drawn pretty high, she's an experienced sword. I'm sure she'll be to the fore. Maybe if you push me down, I'd probably rather be in a double figure stall. But time will tell, I suppose. Dots to Feature was one we wanted to talk about. Dots to Feature, we see here finishing 4th behind Shelley Banks last time. This was a maiden in which they clashed over the course and distance. That was won by a filly of Jessica Harrington's, who was quite impressive on the day. How do you see the rematch, though, between Dots to Feature and Shelley Banks this time?
Yeah, on this day, Shelley Banks was well on top, wasn't she? She's done very well here. It looked like she was coming to claim Rosie Bassett, and she might have even headed her a little bit, just the two of them on the near side. Rosie Bassett, as you say, Gary, she battled back very well, Jessica Harrington's filly. But Shelley Banks ran all the way to the line, and the two of them pulled nicely clear. You can see Dots to Feature just running on the near side for 4th. So he's been beaten a fair way by Shelley Banks, but he's gone on since then. Okay, his next run was a bit disappointing, but last time at Naas was a very good run. He led from about the 2 furlong pole, and just kind of moved a wee bit to his left onto what was probably the worst of the ground at Nace that day. And Storm Legend, as we mentioned Storm Legend earlier on, John Knox's last winner, I think, wasn't he? Yeah, he was John Knox's last winner. He came up the near side, but Dots the Feature kept on well to take third place in front of Juliana, just behind Mickey the Seal. So that was a good run. It was a nice step forward, and he's got a rating of 83, which you would think would give him every chance of winning a maiden at this stage of the season.
Okay, we're well behind time here, as you can see. I'm not sure why, but Shelley Banks, personally speaking, Don, I think she'll confirm that form at Dots the Feature today. She's by a real soft ground influencing sire in Fast Company, and her previous second to Ascot Adventure clearly impressed a few judges that race that day, because Ascot Adventure changed hands for big money at the, I think it was the Tattersalls Autumn Horses and Training sale. And gee, she's a big mover now. Look at that, 7-2 from 13-2 late on Shelley Banks. Done. I thought she was solid each way, but
they're listening to you, Gary. Yeah, no, it was like that VT that we just showed. It was a good run by her, wasn't it? And the two of them had it between them on the near side. And Rosie Bassett's probably, she hasn't run since, but she's probably a good filly, and she's got the potential to improve again. The two of them pulled nicely clear, and it was on this type of ground over this course and distance. So yeah, and she's got lots of experience, but she's still going forward, isn't she?
it does look that way. That was a fair effort last time here, as I say. Trevor Whelan riding for trainer Eamon O'Connell. And don't think we've got too many more left to load. Could be at least 4 minutes over time here for this Irish Stallion Farms EBF maiden. 3-1 then about Charmed, 7-2 Montego Bay and Shelley Banks. That's the feature, and 9-2 Miramis easy enough at 6-1. And Cleona, the mover at big prices, 10 from 22. 100-30 now, Shelley Banks. If they don't get them off soon, she'll be favourite nearly. Let's join Jerry Hannon then for race number 2.
White flag is raised. Thereof over
Mark it
5,
in
Grey
play.
Ivy dwelt at the